Daytime starts right now.
Before power suits, there were power wigs. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian is here and in hair-raising form to school us on the history behind the hair as we get closer to, get this, National Big Wig Day.
Okay.
A day just for the wigs. I'm so happy he's wearing that too today. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian is here to break down the hair-raising history of the wig as we inch closer and closer to National Big Wig Day. And I thought my hair was big.
It's a baby powder for.
Welcome back, everyone. With National Big Wig Day coming up on Friday, we have brought in our very own big wig celebrity historian. Raffi Andonian is here to tell us about hair fashion all the way back in George Washington's day. Now, Raffi, what we love about you is you can take any topic and school us on it and make it interesting. And you always dress the part, so thank you for that.
Of course, here I am, big wig. George Washington.
It's a very
by the way,
wig.
George Washington never wore a wig.
That wasn't his hair.
That was his hair, and he powdered it.
Really?
Yep.
I thought we were going to change a baby's diaper, but you actually brought this to talk about George Washington.
Off the bat, a big myth,
right.
dispelled about wigs, right there.
So George didn't wear a wig. He just powdered his own hair. Well, who did it? Because he had a bouffant. Like, he styled it.
So what's funny is by the time George Washington is in the Revolutionary period, the wigs are kind of starting to go on the way out. It was big. 100 years or so before him is when the trend is catching on.
Got it.
And that was because of syphilis, believe it or not. So in the 17th century, syphilis is breaking out. And what you're seeing there are some portrayals of the wigs right there. You can see in the middle there's a block with a wig on it.
I see this.
And so as syphilis is breaking out, hairlines are all the rage because one of the symptoms of syphilis is that you lose your hair. So you want to look healthy. In fact, when it hits royalty is when the trend really hits. King Louis XIV in France started to go bald at age 17, and probably because he had syphilis. King Charles II of England started to have problems with his hair. Louis XIV, in fact, got 48 wig makers to work for him because he cared so much about getting his wigs straight, believe it or not. So that's how it becomes a trend, but it becomes a daily thing. Anyone of any walk of life would wear it. There I am in a wig shop right there.
I see you in the wig shop.
In a colonial Williamsburg depiction in Virginia. Now, what's funny about that is anyone would wear it. So, for example, on daily wear, you might have even enslaved folks and laborers wear it. They wear darker hair for your daily. You're going to wear gray if you're on business, you're professional. It's like wearing a business suit. And you're going to wear white when it's formal. And that's what George Washington was wearing, or excuse me, putting powder on, because white was still a formal color. And so he was sitting for his formal portrait. It's like a tuxedo, but you're not walking around in white hair because it's like you don't walk around in a tuxedo in daily wear.
It would also, the powder would fall.
That's true.
You
the
know,
powder
I
would
feel
fall.
like it would come. It just shows you that hair has always been really important.
It has been.
To everyone for all time.
Think of it like an article of clothing, you know, just like you would have in your closet. You might change out what you wear, wear the dark one for certain occasions, the gray or the white. And different people are going to wear them, different social classes. They're going to show and self-express. But it does go out of style. It does begin to go out of style. But let's talk for a moment about the wig maker themselves, because I mentioned that there were 48 wig makers for King Louis XIV. You saw some photos of the shop right there about the wig making. These guys, it was such a craft. Hair was so important, just like you just said, that you would have 5 years of apprenticing in 5 stages of tests as a wig maker to master the craft and be able to perform as a wig maker.
I'm just looking at your wig. As you talk about wigs, I'm looking at yours. I'm going, I don't think a very crafty guy did yours, Raffi. We're missing a little spot right here. I feel like I need to pull over your ear.
Now look at the selection there. Yep, that's right.
Okay,
that's right. There you go. You're doing it. See, you're already passing stage 1 of the wig making testing. But what you're also going to see in that process is there is actually quite a process to this craft. So first they're going to shave your head clean. And then after that, they're going to begin to take measurements for any bumps and little marks that you have on your head. And then they're going to take that and put it onto a block. Once they put it onto the block head, which has a different, indentations you may have on your head, they're going to form with silk or linen a net around it, a very fine net, stitch it together, then get that net and get little clumps of hair to put on there from the back toward the front.
So
from the neck toward the forehead. Oh, it's going to take several days of work on one thing. And so that's why it's such a master craft. You want to get it right. In fact, there were different kinds of hair that they would use for this. So I'll give you a couple examples. At the top in quality would be, for example, yak, which was coming in from Tibet, and also horsehair, the mane of a horse coming in from China.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly. That'd be at the top.
People use mane and tail. It's a horse
That's
shampoo.
right. And you know why? Because it's coarse. And when it's coarse, you can style it much easier.
True.
The next level is human hair. Human hair would be used more by women. Wigs were generally worn by men, but women were...
Men got the yak hair.
That's right. Men got the yak hair. But women use human hair because of the length they want, so you can find the length easier. In fact, there were peasants in Europe that would be... that human hair would come from. You're not going to believe this. These girls would be born into generations of people that sold their hair, never cut their hair from all the way to age 15 to 25. It's the first time they'd cut it. Never see sunlight, always cover it, never cut it, never dye it. So, but it's fresh, and that's the way. That's the wig that you want to have.
Oh my
and finally, at the bottom is goat hair, which feels the best actually. It feels very soft. But soft hair, you know very well, it doesn't. The curls don't hold in soft hair; they just go crazy.
They do. It's
you don't want that stuff.
Goat hair is the worst.
Different types. That's right. That's right.
And then again, you might be talking one day and go, "Do you like my wig?" And they're like, "No,
that's right.
It's made of goat hair."
But the reason it goes out of style, to bring this full circle to George Washington.
Okay.
The reason he didn't wear a wig, and the reason that he would put in powder. You can powder my hair as I do this. See the powder room, right? The reason that he would do the powder is because wigs are out of style by the age of the Enlightenment and the American Revolution. Because this is going to be a sign of nobility, a sign of aristocracy. We revolted against that. I don't want the wig. Get that out of here. So we don't want to look like them. We're going to be, in fact, by the 1800s, shortly after George Washington died, the trend was short hair, and most people by George Washington's era were wearing their natural hair. So when you see white hair in those depictions, it's not wigs, despite what Hollywood says. It's the powder. Because the white looks good in candlelight. So you want the white, but you're not going to do the aristocratic stuff. Yeah, powder all over the place.
Raffi, last time he was here, he put peanut butter on his face and shaved it.
Get a white
now
like
he's
George
putting
Washington.
Powder in his hair. You are hilarious, Raffi. We adore you. Thank you for that lesson in wigs, because Friday is National I'm inhaling it. National Big Wig Day. If you would like more on Raffi Andonian, he is, again, a celebrity historian. You can go to his website, celebrityhistorian.com, or find him on social media. I am really breathing in a lot of that powder. And Raffi is sticking around. We are going to have some history trivia. X and I are going to compete against Raffi. So 2 against 1. We're going to see if 2 heads are better than 1.
Let's see.
We don't know what the questions are. You should put your thinking cap on. And y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Oh, that's so funny. I can't believe you did that. And it's all over your...